Hey, what's up guys? Kevin here. Welcome to the new snowboard show on the channel. It's called Live for 25, where we go live for 25 minutes talking about a topic. Today I got TJ here from Board Archive.
What up guys?
And as you guys know, TJ and I, we've been traveling all over the world the last couple of years and wanted to talk to you guys about our top terrain parks. And I feel like this is something that, you know, as we're riding more parks, we're discovering like what makes a good park, what doesn't make a good park. And sometimes it's not even just the features or the size, like it's other aspects that actually make the terrain park really good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk to you guys. We're gonna tell you guys about each of our top 5 or so terrain parks. And then at the very end, we're gonna go to a few questions if you guys have any questions for us. And yeah, stay tuned because the Live for 25 snowboard show is gonna be coming to you guys more regular. So let's do it up.
Yeah, stoked to chat for a little bit about some parks, man.
Yeah, definitely. And of course you have to have TJ as the first guest because TJ is the man. So, all right, so starting off, TJ, I'll let you do your first terrain park. What's on your list and what are some of the things that make it a top park?
Definitely, yeah. You know, it's tough. We've been to so many great places, but I think to start off, I gotta say Keystone, man. The stomping grounds back in Colorado, just spent so much time in there. And I think there's a few things that really make that park unique.
Yeah, Keystone is actually one of my top parks as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got the same one on our list so far.
Oh, there's gonna be some overlap for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard not to love that place, man. You know, they got such a big variety. They got Easy Street with like, you know, the kind of intro features, or if you just want to play around and try some weird tricks. They got I-70 going down the side, which is like really fun trickable features.
Yeah.
Going all the way up to the larger stuff. They got the pro line, like the super intimidating features, or a lot of times there's pros out there too training and you can, you know, watch some pretty cool tricks go down.
Yeah, that was one of the things I noticed when I was there. They've got the beginner line there, which is like just super beginner friendly, like a wide variety of features for beginners, not just like, you know, sometimes a terrain park will have like just a few features for beginners, but there's like a full park there. Then they have like the full intermediate park and then the full expert park. So an amazing place to progress.
Yeah, there's nice building blocks. You can really take your skills wherever you want to there. They have the resources available for you. Really good vibe as well, like the people there are super friendly. And I think another big thing is the dedicated park chair.
Yeah.
That's pretty unique. It's very rare to find that, so it's pretty cool that Keystone has that going on. It is a 2-seater. It's not like the fastest chair, but I still think, you know, you can get so many laps.
Yeah, but that chair is amazing too, because once you're done your lap, you end up meeting up with like friends that are also riding park, or just running into people. Like you meet people in the park, and it's an awesome way to like make friends and have that like park community happen.
Definitely.
And it goes over top of the expert line, so you get to watch all the tricks going down and get inspired for your next lap.
Yeah, it's a really cool vibe, and like it's really well thought out too. Like you said, at the top there's kind of like a nice meeting area. They got tons of hooks for backpacks, so yeah, it's like a very kind of communal just vibe. It's it's a really fun spot. And
they got some gates up there too, so you almost like separate the park riders from the rest of the mountain, which is nice too, because it's nice to have other people in the park with you, but it can get a little bit crazy if you got some people like racing through the park when you should just be hitting the features.
Yeah, they do a good job of keeping that traffic kind of separate as well, which is really nice too. So
nice.
Yeah, Keystone I think is the first shout out for me. And yeah, what about you, man? I know you got a few on the mind.
Yeah, I'll just start off with the Blackcomb Terrain Park here in Whistler.
Classic.
Love that park, even when I would say, honestly, it doesn't have the most features happening like through one lap compared to Keystone. And there's not that wide variety of progression, but the vibe in the Blackcomb Park and the fact that the park gets so much sun throughout the day. So I feel like sun and terrain park go like hand in hand, especially for takeoffs, for landings. You want to have some good light.
Definitely.
And it's just like an open park. There's great views, the sun, and it also has the dedicated park chair too. So you get that like community vibe happening. It used to have the old Cat Skinner chair. You've hit that one up. It was like that slow chair that went over the expert line. And then the new Cat Skinner chair is, just off to the side, but it's a high speed quad and you can just do like fast laps. The Whistler Park is good as well, but it doesn't have that dedicated park chair per se, because it's shared with the rest of the mountain. Yeah, the Emerald chair gets pretty busy. There's a lot of different traffic going through while you're trying to get those park laps in. Yeah. I think on Blackcomb, what I've noticed this year, spending more time in Whistler, like you mentioned, the light is huge, man. Like you can be even like riding Whistler in the morning and then everything starts to get shaded, early afternoon. You can head over to Blackcomb and you have like awesome sun all the way till the mountain closes. So yeah, that's a pretty cool standout for sure. Yeah, so Blackcomb Park, that's on my list. But yeah, shout out to Whistler Park too. It's kind of like an honorable mention. But I feel like just the shapes of those jumps too and stuff, they're like very nicely shaped. Definitely. Good flow. And even if the features are a little bit more one-dimensional in terms of like more intermediate advanced, it's still like a really just fun place to spend a day. I think it's really cool to see the pro jumps as well, Yeah. I feel like not everywhere has jumps that are on that caliber and that scale. Like looking at the black line, like we were just looking at them today, it's just it's a pretty cool thing to see, even if you don't want to hit it, or like if you do get the chance to see some people actually riding it. Yeah. It's a pretty unique park for sure. Yeah, we were up in there today, but we got a surprise snowstorm. So we got 2 laps in and then just the snow started coming and we bailed. We rode down, got some lunch, and we'll save the terrain park for tomorrow. Yeah, it was supposed to be a sunny day and it did not. No, I wasn't ready. All right, what's your next top park? I think for the next one, I'm gonna go with Laax in Switzerland. Nice. Yeah, that one's definitely worth calling out. Spent like 3 days out riding there, and I think the biggest standout is just, well, there's a huge variety, first of all, which is really cool. And they've got like airbags, they've got the pro line, they've got the beginner and the medium line, but they really just maintain the park so well. So that was really cool to see. And just like, the whole experience being in Switzerland at like the high elevation, the park is right at the top by that crazy building. Yeah, that stands out for me, like the gallery where you can like sit and have like lunch or some food and then watch the terrain park go down. Yeah. And there's like a deck there, and I think there's like that small coffee shop up there as well. They got a cafe right at the top of the park, so yeah, really cool vibe out in Laax. You can take the tram all the way up from the bottom, and then you're right at the top of the park right there. But I think that's another place that really is a really good spot for progression too. Like you could take more intermediate park skills and then take it all the way up to the super advanced stuff. Yeah. And then again, like crazy pros hanging out there too, seeing some pretty wild tricks and things go down. So yeah, if you guys want to see some clips from that park, check out TJ's video on Snowboard Pro Camp. It's what's it called? It's like the sunrise park edit. I think it's like sunrise snowboarding in Laax, Switzerland. Yeah, definitely check it out. It's a cool video. We were able to get up there. I think at 7 a.m. it was like a couple hours before the park even opened, and literally just sunrise snowboarding. It was crazy. And you got some like slow motion shots of like going over some like, I remember like, I think the one that stands out for me the most, I don't know, maybe I'm imagining this, but like board sliding like a rainbow rail in slow motion. Yep. Yeah. The rainbow rail was fun, and everything was just pristine. It was a really, really cool time to be up there. And like the Swiss Alps at sunrise is pretty crazy. There's a nice time lapse kind of showing the sunrise over the Alps. So nice. Yeah, it's a cool one. Sick, man. All right, so my next top park, gonna go to the Southern Hemisphere to New Zealand, and Cardrona, New Zealand. Yeah. It's just like, that park, it's not only I think a great terrain park, but it was one that surprised me like the most, because you're in New Zealand, like you drive all the way to the top of a mountain, and then so you're only really riding the peaks of the mountain in New Zealand. And in that like peak area, they've just got such an incredible top to bottom park setup with lots of places to progress, like lots of variety from the beginner, intermediate, advanced features. And then on top of that, they've got like 2 full half pipes, and just the vibes there, and the dedicated park chair, where I guess the park chair is a little bit problematic because you run into like a or at least we did, ran into a lot of crowds and people, but the park in Cardrona, New Zealand, like exceeded expectations, and there was like, I think there was like an intangible, like just fun element to that park too, where it was just a good time. I feel like because of the weather in New Zealand, it's like there's less cloudy, stormy days there. We got a lot of sun. I feel like that added a lot to it as well.
Yeah, definitely. Cardrona, yeah, it's another one that stands out to me. And
is it one of your top parks?
It is one of my top parks.
Nice.
Yeah, that's one of the overlaps for sure. Yeah, like you said, like I was really surprised at the quality of the park there. I mean, I've seen a little bit, you know, from David Jones's videos and stuff, but actually being there and seeing how long it is, like there's so many hits you can do in one lap. You know, even if on the busier days there's a bit of a line at the bottom, it's still a really, really fun place to ride, and just, yeah, you can progress a lot out in Cardrona.
Yeah, I think the thing that adds to the Cardrona Park as well is that like the views up there are just spectacular. You have those like views of all the mountains in New Zealand. If you guys haven't been, there's no trees really on the mountain in New Zealand, so you just have these like massive rocky peaks in every direction. And so, you know, you're snowboarding, you're working on tricks, but then you're just inspired by everything that's around you. So all that's like really impressive. Any features that stand out to you about Cardrona, like in particular?
I think, I don't know if there's any specific feature as much as the way that they put effort into making like a creative setup. Like there was multiple ways to hit everything. Like I remember there was one part in the rail plaza where you could literally, you could hit like 3 rails if you planned your line out kind of in a funky way. They had like, you know, side hit step ups, like crazy hips going into other features, and there was just a lot of variety. So that was really cool to see that too, and like try to challenge yourself and see if you could find like a creative way to find a fun line through there.
Yeah, I think that was stood out to me too, was they had a really nice step up jump, which you don't often see in the park. It was actually a step up gap.
It was like a proper step up, yeah.
Yeah, so that was really fun to hit. And then also that rail feature where, yeah, you could hit a rail, or no, sorry, you could kind of hit a rail on the side, and then like do an aggressive carve turn and then hit another rail going down. So
yeah, that
was really cool to see like something creative like that in the park.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was one of the features that was kind of coming to mind there. Yeah, I'm stoked to get back out to Cardrona and check it out again. Like it definitely was a very, very surprising place, and just, yeah, the whole environment, like you said, the views, even like the drive out there, everything, the pies. Yeah, it's a cool spot. Yeah,
really cool. And shout out to David Jones. He's like he's a local YouTuber at that park.
Absolutely,
as well.
Yeah. Shout out David, man.
All right, what's your next on your top park list?
Oh man, I think next I'm gonna keep it over in Europe, and gonna shout out St. Anton.
Nice.
I thought St. Anton is one of my top parks, and this is one of those parks where it's not because it's a massive park, or it's super advanced or anything. It's just the location and the fact that they had the dedicated button lift. So
this is probably the smallest park on the list.
I think so. Yeah, it is quite a small park. Like it's just big enough to have a triple jump line, and then you're lapping it up again. But they do have the dedicated button lift, so you can get tons of laps, and it's probably one of the fastest parks to lap. It's like very similar to like a rope tow style, but I'd say it's better than most rope tow parks that I've seen. And that in combination with just being in the Alps there in Austria, you got like these insane views. There's a restaurant right at the top. Like we got a lot of sunny days out there.
Yeah, when you're up there, it's like it's like being in a fishbowl, but in the mountains, like in the most pristine mountain landscapes you've ever seen.
It's so scenic.
Like full 360. So yeah, it's a crazy, crazy experience. I feel like, yeah, a fishbowl of mountain peaks. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And then like the tow rope, you would think like, oh, a tow rope, that's maybe a bad thing, but it actually just allows you to do those like quick laps. So you just keep that, like, you never have that sit down and kind of like lose your like energy feeling. You're always like just go, go, go.
Yeah.
And I actually broke some ribs in that park, so I feel like I was feeling it too much. I was like having a great time, and I just
went a little too hard.
I just went for something when I shouldn't have, and broke a couple of ribs. But it's like on my list as well, so it's one of my top parks for sure.
Yeah, another standout with St. Anton is they've got a helicopter pad right above the park as well. So if you spend a decent amount of time there every once in a while, you're just going to see like a helicopter flying above you like while you're lapping the park, and just it's a really cool place.
Yeah, definitely one of the top.
What else you got in mind for top parks, Kev?
Top parks. All right, so we're gonna go summer, North America, and the High Cascade Snowboard Camp Park. I feel like that park is just like, it's another small park and it's a tow rope, but the vibes and the feeling and just being up there is an incredible experience. And it's actually not just that park, because then you also have the whole public line afterwards. So
it's true.
There's potential with the High Cascade Park when you link it together with some of the public features, is you can hit like 3 half pipes in one run. You can get just like multiple jump hits, all kinds of rail and box features, and the tow rope, which gives it that community feel. And it's summertime. So all those things combined just totally blow my mind every time I'm there. I always take a minute. I think you do this too when I'm there, where I have to like just soak it all in.
Oh, definitely. It's such a unique experience. I mean, summer snowboarding, if you guys have never done it, Mount Hood is one of the best places in the world to go check out. The views are insane. Like, you've got the parks, you've also got the option to like hike the volcano if you want to. You can see like mountains way off in the distance, like Mount Rainier. You've got these crazy views up on the volcano, and you're on a volcano. So sometimes, well, first there's like these crazy dirt mounds in between there, which is just like, there's still tons and tons of snow, but it's it's a very interesting vibe. Sometimes we'll get like a sulfur smell coming from the volcano, and it's just it's not like anywhere else.
Yeah, the landscapes up there, it's kind of like barren. So because you're in the Alpine, you're above the trees, and a lot of times too, like so it's in Oregon, USA, just east of Portland, and you have like the clouds kind of roll in pretty consistently below the park. So you're looking down at like a sea of clouds a lot of the time, which is such a neat, like amazing view. There's some like, TJ, you got some like amazing shots out there as well, where somebody's taking a photo like on a feature. I remember that one where you're on the picnic table, and so you're doing like a trick on the picnic table, then below you is just like a sea of clouds. And so iconic.
The inversions, sometimes you get those weather inversions on Mount Hood, and I think that's the first place that I ever experienced that, and it's pretty cool.
What's your favorite feature when you're at High Cascade?
Oh man,
for me, it was that larger jump that we were hitting last season. Like, it was such a perfectly built jump, and like almost an endless landing. So I felt like really, really comfortable hitting that large jump, that huge landing. So we were setting it pretty big, and I don't think there was one point where I really felt like we were taking big risks.
Yeah.
It was a very safe, like large jump.
They build the jump very well, all their jumps. And I think I do enjoy the jumps a lot, but I think for me, more than just one specific feature, it's the flow that they build into the park. So it's like, there's quarter pipes on the sides of the jumps, there's quarter pipes at the bottom, there's transitions all over the place. So it's real fun. Like, if you can drop in at a time where you can actually kind of traverse a bit around the park through your line, you can do some pretty fun stuff, and it opens up a lot of options. So
the other standout to me is like the half pipes. They got like, they usually have a mini pipe, and then combined with like a few like of the large half pipes.
The mini pipe is super fun.
And it's so fun, and you can almost like, you just by accident start to get good at half pipe, just because you're riding through more half pipes than most people are ever even near, because just the line, it's like where do I want to ride? Let's like ride the half pipe this time. And so even just getting tricks down like hand plants, or like you do like a lot of inverted tricks in the pipe. So really fun place to experiment and just like have some fun.
I think kind of going along with that, another thing that makes it really unique on Mount Hood is it's one of the only places where there's like a consistent like slushy half pipe. Like the mini pipe, when it's slushy, it's not at all the same as getting into an icy pipe. Like if you have a half pipe at your local mountain, most of the time it's pretty firm and it's pretty icy, and it's just a different experience in the slush. So I'd say check it out if you can.
And the cool thing, one last thing at Mount Hood is that you end up being in the tow rope line with a lot of the top pros. So in the past, we've been there with Sage Kotzenberg. Who else? What's that guy's name? Johnny something. He was in the Union movie. He was in Australia.
Johnny O'Connor.
Johnny O'Connor
Mike
was there.
Forrest Bailey. They've got like pros cycling through all summer as well.
Mary Rand was there last year.
Yeah.
So really cool to like, you're just like in line with the pros. They're also hitting the same features most of the time, just going, you know, going big, doing crazy tricks. And so to see them throwing down is very inspiring too.
Absolutely. Yeah, it shows you what's possible.
All right, so what's next on your top parks list?
I think next for me, I gotta shout out Copper in Colorado, man. Just because it's such an impressive park, you know. To be perfectly honest, I haven't spent as much time as I would like there. I've probably ridden it maybe a dozen times at the most. But even just being there recently, like we were there just for a day, and it is one of those places where I think, you know, you need to spend some time there to get used to it. But I think one thing that they do that is super unique is they'll go to that weird place when they're designing the features, that they've got the weirdest rail, so you can really do some unique tricks, get some unique clips out there. The jumps are built super proper, and then they just pack it full. It's like the most feature-packed park. One of the most I've ever seen. It's pretty wild.
That's exactly how I would describe it. It was just like such a packed park, and I was only there for one day at Copper. It was fun, but I was definitely overwhelmed. I feel like that's the kind of park where most parks you do need to spend a few days to get used to all the features, but I feel like I would really need to spend a month at Copper getting used to like all the craziness that's like happening there, because you finish one like feature and then you end up having the option to hit like 5 or 6 other features.
Right.
So you're just like, where do I go? What do I choose? And if you're only there for one day like I was just like, oh shoot, and then I would like ride in between 2 features.
Yeah, so you just like pick one and stick to it. Yeah, to really be able to hit everything, you'd have to spend a good amount of time there. And honestly, like there were some features that I don't think I would even want to hit. So like if you are like super creative in the park, or like a really advanced park rider, and you want to go to a place where you can like push yourself or try some weird stuff, they've got some features that like I've never seen. Like they had a rail that was like a zipper. But it was like a metal rail. So yeah, all kinds of funky stuff. And they have a good variety too, from like easier progression stuff. They got a mini pipe, some smaller jumps going all the way up to the really large features and those unique rails. Yeah, the large features there were really smooth too. Those large jumps, those are some of the nicest jumps that I've hit this season. Yeah, they build it proper. All right, let's go into for a few questions. This is the 25-minute live show, so we only have a few minutes, but yeah, let's check out a few of your questions. Cam H, when are you coming back to Australia? Yeah, shout out to Perisher, Australia too. Like, honestly, that park there is like so much fun as well. Some of my most fun park days were at Perisher. That is a fun one. It's a long way to go though for us, but we're gonna, we have some planning to do this season, so we may be back in Australia in September. Yeah. All right. Great questions, guys. Shout out Osvaldo, Emilian Popov. Thank you guys for tuning in. Adam. Rob Gam says Mount Hood for sure. I think Rob, he lives in Oregon, I believe. So yeah, Mount Hood Mount Hood is one of the classic summer spots, no doubt. And we got Colton. Is Whistler Blackcomb open till the end of May? So yeah, this is actually TJ's first like full spring here in Whistler Blackcomb. It is, yeah. When is it open till? Like, I know the season goes till May 27th, but I don't know. I think in a couple of weeks they're going to transition the parks to one mountain or the other. So I don't know if Blackcomb is going to stay open all the way to the end. But I think the plan is that each year last year they closed Whistler and kept Blackcomb open. I think this year they're closing Blackcomb and leaving Whistler. So the Whistler Park should be open, I think, until May 27th. So it's pretty awesome. Yeah, it's a really long season up here. Yeah, it's cool vibes in the spring too, and it's actually very busy. The park gets pretty busy in the springtime, which makes it makes it fun. It's better to have, I think, too many people than being solo in the park, which you don't want to be lonely in there. You want to have like the whole crew. Yeah. All right, thanks for all the questions, guys. Gonna scroll back down to the bottom here. Shout out all you guys for hanging out for the live for 25. All right, so we got a gear question from Commander. Rocker versus camber in the park. Ooh. Good one, man. Yeah, what's your opinion? Highly debatable. Highly debatable. That could maybe be the next live for 25 topic. Oh man, yeah, it literally could. I still got to go with if you're doing just pure rocker or camber, I got to go camber. I think. I'd probably go camber even if hybrids were involved. Honestly, that's just what I like, man.
Yeah, I like my favorite is the hybrid. So like my board, the space case is rocker between and then camber under the feet. But if I had to pick just one, I would do probably camber as well. Just because camber gives you that pop, it gives you the control on the jumps, stability.
Yeah.
Rocker's fun too for maybe like rocker could be more fun for like boxes and rails and things. But camber is probably still going to give you that more control and more like stability. Like when you go to ollie onto something, you want the board to actually help you ollie on. You don't want to kind of feel like a flat ollie when you go to spring off the tail there.
Yeah, like I think rocker, you know, for jibbing and stuff and getting presses and butters, it can be a lot of fun, but a softer flexing camber board can still be a lot of fun for that style as well. So. And
shout out to Chris Henrik. Thanks for the super chat, man. Appreciate you. And yeah, what's up down in Australia?
Yeah, good morning over in Oz.
All right, guys. So we're in the 25th minute. So thank you guys for tuning in for the first episode of Live for 25 on the Snowboard Pro Camp.
Yeah.
Thanks, TJ, for getting in on this.
Thanks, Kev.
And we're actually going to hop over onto TJ's channel right now, Board Archive, for an hour-long live Q&A. So if you guys have questions about terrain parks, about boards, come on over to Board Archive.
Yeah, hope to see you guys there. We'll probably be over there in about 5 minutes or so. So
yeah.